Morning, it's Tuesday, March 27, 2018. You're watching the Daily Mix TV by Hill Story Marketing. My name is Sean Patrick Hillman. I'm the CEO. So Apple plans to release a slate of original programming as early as next March, according to the latest report from the New York Times. Apple has about a dozen projects in the works. You know, what's going on right now in terms of tech and entertainment is incredible. It really is an exciting time for those two sectors. You know, Netflix has an $8 billion original programming war chest that they're spending on content and new series and upping the ante on some of their existing series. Amazon, of course, not to be outdone. Jeff Bezos, Amazon Studios is cranking up the volume as well. On the heels of that, Facebook launches their Watch platform. That's now pivoting to also include more original programming. So you basically have a content war going on between all the tech companies. Now, Apple has been trying to penetrate this sector for quite some time. Remember, Steve Jobs was the one who really is credited with pushing out lawful downloads of music at 99 cents a track, right? Because those are the deals that he did with the music publishers. Now, he tried to do that with the movie studios before his passing, and unfortunately that didn't happen. Tim Cook has been unable to secure that. But, lucky for Apple, the age of original programming and content from the tech studio side has really, it's explosive right now. Apple's actually working with some of Tinseltown's heaviest hitters, like Steven Spielberg, Jennifer Aniston, and Reese Witherspoon. They recently outspent Facebook and YouTube on programming. Now remember, last year, they set a budget of $1 billion when they announced this effort. Well, it's likely more and more every day they're going to blow right through that pretty quickly. The company is also building a 128,000 square foot entertainment headquarters in Culver City, California. So they're really doubling down on this. And them building a headquarters specific to entertainment production tells me they're all in. So it's going to be interesting to watch what happens next. Now, speaking of Apple, today, they've got a special event in Chicago. That's right, Cook & Company are going on the road to present what most are speculating will be a new, less expensive iPad, amongst a myriad of other announcements primarily focused on the education sector. Now, every year, Apple basically does two keynotes. The last time they announced an education-specific keynote was back in March of 2012. So it's going to be interesting to see how today plays out. Given the geopolitical situation in this country and what's going on in the education sector, in the argument versus investment in public schools versus charter versus private school vouchers, those kinds of things, it's not surprising that Apple is throwing their weight into this conversation. So it'll be really cool to see what Tim Cook and the gang have to say today. Now, the other thing I'm looking forward to is every Apple special event or keynote, I bring in one or two of my teams into my personal office to watch the keynote and talk through what we're observing. So what are the issues we foresee coming down the pipe? What's cool and what's not about the announcements that are being made, those kinds of things. It's a lot of fun. It's really cool to hear a lot of people's feedback. And we're talking age ranges from very old Gen Z all the way up to baby boomer. So very cool to get different perceptions from different generations. It's always a fun time, and I suspect this afternoon will be no different. Can't wait. Now, the fast food wars are heating up yet again. Every week there's a new announcement or there's a new pissing contest on the fryer. It's incredible. This time, Wendys has a fresh beef with Burger King and McDonald's. Yeah, I know, guys. But this time, they're not just tweeting about it, they're actually singing it. On Friday, the fast food chain dropped 5 songs on a new mixtape, including several tracks that took aim at its biggest competitors in the fast food world, citing some of the notorious issues they've had in the last year, like McDonald's broken ice cream machine, which popped up at the end of last summer. Look, here's one of the tweets. The mixtape drops now, not pulling punches. We beefin', according to Wendys' official Twitter account. Now, the playlist titled We Beefin' is now available on Spotify, Apple Music, and Google Play. It's got album artwork that features a single image of Wendy's iconic square burger patty, and the chain tweeted a preview of the art earlier this week. Now, to make it clear, these tracks weren't just aimed at any old fast food joint. Wendy's even tweeted a Spotify link to the playlist directly at McDonald's, basically trolling them. "Don't sleep on this mixtape," the chain wrote with flame and burger emojis. Wendy's has gained a lot of traction. They've really catapulted themselves up by trolling their rivals on social. And you know what? When they've called out their rivals, they've done a good job of it. It's been tongue-in-cheek, it's been fun, it's been in your face, but not nasty and not malicious. Very much taking the mickey, as my wife likes to say, out of them. In November, as an example, Wendy's nailed McDonald's over a Black Friday tweet that went awry, and I'm sure what you guys see on the screen you'll remember, then trolled the Golden Arches when they announced most of its locations would begin making its quarter pounders with fresh beef instead of frozen patties. Quote, "So you're still using frozen beef in most of your burgers in all of your restaurants, asking for a friend," referring to a very common human qualifier, a friend. Wendy's has long prided itself on using fresh, never frozen patties. So, you got an interesting time in fast food. I just really hope that life will not imitate art.
Reward is dinner and dancing at Taco Bell. I mean, hey, I like Mexican food, but come on.
Your tone is quasi-facetious, but you do not realize that Taco Bell was the only restaurant to survive the franchise wars.
So?
So? Now all restaurants are Taco Bell.
No way.
The Mayor's Alliance for New York City's Animals, which, FYI, has absolutely nothing to do with Mayor Bill de Blasio, has just announced that Adopt-A-Palooza 2018 Spring Edition, which is New York's original mega pet adoption event, will be on Sunday, May 20th from 12 to 5 in Union Square Park. As always, I will be emceeing on behalf of the Alliance. Sponsored by Petco Foundation and Petco, Adopt-A-Palooza bookends the summer with this event and the fall edition, which usually takes place the weekend after Labor Day. So the spring edition takes place the weekend before Memorial Day, the fall edition the weekend after Labor. Rock and Rawhide will be in the house, of course, collecting donations to deliver to shelter pets of toys, linens, gently used items, things like that. I'll be emceeing alongside the spokesperson for the Alliance, Stephanie Matera. So it's a really fun event with hundreds of dogs, cats, and rabbits being placed into new, loving, and responsible homes. There's a lot of brand activation at an event like this, and what we're going to do is next week, we're going to do a deeper dive on what those activations look like and why they're important from a marketing and business point of view. Lastly, speaking of animals, Rock and Rawhide, the charity that my wife and I co-founded to help increase the level of adoptions of dogs and cats in shelters, is hosting a pet photo shoot at Pure Paws Veterinary Care in Hell's Kitchen next Saturday, April 7th from 10 to 1. Each photo of you and your forever friend is $10, with 100% of the proceeds going back to our shelter enrichment programs. It's a awesome way to raise money to help our furry friends. You guys get to keep a keepsake. It's a lot of fun doing these photo shoots. It does help, believe it or not, in terms of being able to raise funds to buy toys directly from the manufacturer, such as what Rock and Rawhide does. So, if you're in New York City, please come down. Pure Paws Veterinary Care. Stephanie, who owns the practice, love her. She's just an incredible vet. The practice itself is so clean. They're so good. They take such good care of our forever friends. So, again, April 7th from 10 to 1. My name is Sean Patrick Hillman. I'm the CEO of Hill Story Marketing. I'm also the editor-in-chief of the Daily Mix TV. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you tomorrow on Hump Day.